What's up, guys? Welcome to the fourth episode of the Heat Check podcast. I'm Brett, co-host here, Joey. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. NBA, some big, exciting Game 7s. NFL, you're going to get into our final lists, AFC rankings, QBs and D tackles, and a lot of signings, especially a lot of shit going down in Tampa. But before we get into the NFL, let's start off with the NBA. Ja Morant was announced as a Rookie of the Year winner. I feel like very well deserved over
Yeah, I'm
Zion.
glad.
He's the guy. He's definitely the guy to win it for them. And Brandon Ingram, most improved player, once again, very deserved. We both predicted those guys were going to win it. And we were right. C's right now are playing against the Raps. Celtics lead 2-0 versus the Raptors. If the Raptors can pull together and win this game tonight, then maybe they'll be able to put up a competition. But Celtics are playing really good. They got the Raptors. They got the Raptors right where they want them. They could very much well sweep. I don't see it happening. They'll probably take a game because Raptors are that good of a team. So much for having the Raptors as a favorite. I really like the Raptors team, but Celtics are playing great. Heat, another team we really liked, 2-0 over Milwaukee. Heat and 5. Yeah, I believe I said Heat and 6. I believe you said Heat and 5, but yeah, go Heat. I really want to. Heat versus Celtics would be an insane matchup. It would be so fun to watch. The teams have been playing great. That'd be a really hard series to predict. But Jazz blew a 3-1 lead. It really is sad. I said it in the first podcast. Donovan Mitchell needs to get out of Utah. After this, Donovan Mitchell needs to get out of Utah because the Jazz managed to let Jamal Murray just go insane. He went insane versus them 3 games in a row and helped them come back. Murray played out of his mind. Mitchell, he kind of choked at the end. I really do feel bad for him. A guy that talent, I don't think he needs to be in Utah anymore. Houston won over OKC. That was a game that was really close as well. I mean, I think it was about a 2-point deficit all the way up to the very end. OKC was fighting. But all the matchups are set for round 2. West Conference is going to be starting a little bit later than usual. Denver versus LAC. I got the Clippers winning in 5 against Denver. They're hot right now. I feel like they'll probably end up taking game 1. But Clippers are a good team. They're still really good. Playoff P decided to not be Playoff P last game. I feel like that is worn off by now. Yeah, I got Clippers in 5. Who do you got?
I'll take the Clippers in 6. Then you say the Clippers are hot, but the Nuggets are very hot too. I mean, winning 3 in a row on the Jazz.
It's good, but Jazz were hot when they went up 3-1, and we saw how that went.
Yeah, and I just want to say all my predictions have been correct so far for the NBA. I just want to put that out there.
You didn't say Utah was going to go to Game 7. You said Utah was going to go to Game 6.
But all my winners have been right. Not all my games. Yeah. I mean, no one's going to get all the games right, but all my winners have been right so far.
Probably about the only one of I believe I had Denver winning in 7. I believe I had Denver winning in 7.
Yeah, we both had Denver.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, also another series to look at. It could be competitive. I don't see it being competitive. You said it last week. Lakers versus Houston. I feel like Houston might be able to take away a game, maybe push it to 5. Houston's getting swept here. I feel like Houston's getting swept.
I'm saying they're getting swept also.
Yeah. I'm probably going to get swept. An eventful couple of days for the NBA, but yet again, still not as much going on as the NFL. It really is going to be interesting to see how both Denver and Houston plays out. I feel like if anyone's got a chance to make it past the second round, I like Denver more just because of the matchup.
Oh yeah.
But it really is off because Denver started off bad, and of course they came back. It really is going to be interesting, but I feel like if anything's going to be more interesting when it comes to who we think the series are going to be, I think the Heat. Now that the Heat have established dominance and they've showed everyone that their record doesn't matter, they're playing like the best team in the East. They have played like the best team in the East. They're the most well-rounded. They got shooters on deck. They got great defenders in Bam and Jimmy. I mean, it could be said 100 million times. Heat aren't even a dark horse for the finals. I mean,
not at all.
Giannis is great. He'll probably end up taking a game from him by himself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. But the Heat are good. Heat could make it to the finals. There's no doubt in my mind. But yeah, only a couple of games were played out. We'll get into it more next week. Maybe some series will be over. We don't know. The C's and both the Heat could sweep, which honestly kind of surprised me. But we'll see it. But next up, we got the NFL. A lot of coming out the NFL. Let's get into mainly just a lot of teams are releasing certain players. Patriots, they lost Mohamed Sanu. Not really a huge loss. Not really something that you could be mad about your team. If he isn't, I don't know much about it. What is your whole stance on Sanu getting released?
I wasn't too mad about it. I mean, Belichick knows what he's doing, obviously. He's going to keep the guys who he thinks is playing good in camp, and he's going to let the guys go who he thinks is going to get beat out by the other guys. So,
yeah.
I mean, I trust our coaching staff. I mean, I'm fine with it. Sanu, he was never really a playmaker for us. So, we wasted a second-round pick to get a guy that is gone
Yeah,
now.
I mean, and especially in a draft that was so stacked. I mean,
yeah.
There were so many like first round quality, and sometimes that doesn't usually happen. Sometimes second rounds they get a couple of picks in and then they just fall off. But this year, I mean, going into the third round, there was still a good amount of talent. But yeah, also another Patriots player went over to the Titans, which is pretty much the arch nemesis, the most hated team if you're a Patriots player because of what happened last year. Gostkowski, I feel like he'll probably end up, if he can stay healthy, Titans got themselves a great kicker. Clinton Dix, one of the bigger releases from my Cowboys. Kind of hurt when I first saw it, but I liked going in. When we first signed him, I was like, he brings depth. He brings depth to the safety position that we very much needed. He's an upgrade to Jeff Heath, but apparently he wasn't even an upgrade to Jeff Heath because there was guys who were second, maybe even third strings last year who was getting played out. There's a guy, Darian Thompson for the Cowboys, outplayed I mean, just a couple of days in the training camp, wasn't even starting. He wasn't even on the main roster pretty much. I mean, he was running with practice squad dudes. So I think the only logical way this makes sense is us clearing space for Earl Thomas III. Now, do I still think he'll sign with Dallas? No. I feel like if anything at this point, he'll end up signing with some other team. I thought he was going to the Niners. I thought he would sign a lot quicker, but turns out personal issues are out there. It's still on the board. I would love for it to happen. I would love to see it happen. If anything, I see him going unsigned. Josh Gordon is back in Seattle. Hopefully with the NFL being a little bit lighter on substance abuse, Josh Gordon can shine for Seattle. I mean, if Gordon can play at least as half the person that he used to be, because he was a great wide receiver. Take out the drugs, he would have had a great career. He's a good wide receiver 3. You got DK, you got Tyler Lockett, and you got Josh Gordon. That really is not a bad wide receiver trio, in my opinion. Before we get into the big story regarding Fournette, let's get into small things. Saints, there was a little bit of turmoil there. I thought at first Kamara wasn't going to be a Saint. And then all of a sudden, Kamara was just like, I didn't want to trade. The Saints just put him on the trade block and I found it pretty surprising that they were able to make amends so quick. Because if I'm trying to re-sign with a team and they put me on the trade block without even acknowledging me, I'm not gonna trust that team. I just don't see why they would do it. But it seems like the Saints might be going all in. Saints are considered basically a full-on blitz for Clowney right now. Once again, that's happened with almost every damn team in the league. I saw the Browns offered him a 2, 3, and a 4-year deal with like 15 to 17 million guarantees on all of those deals. And Clowney rejected every single one of them.
Wow.
That is rough. The fact that you have a very substantial amount of money, especially for an edge rusher, for that many years, he doesn't want to be in Cleveland. That's obvious. I feel like out of all of these teams, and also Titans and Jags, why in the fuck would the Jags be in the rushing for Clowney after they just gave up all that talent? It doesn't make sense. That front office they gotta be the Knicks of the NFL. Because them signing Clowney and releasing Fournette and trading away Yannick makes no goddamn sense. No goddamn sense to me. But if Titans got Clowney, It would probably definitely change my AFC predictions. But let's get into the big story before we get into our list. Fournette to Tampa. Huge, huge weapon for Brady. I don't think Brady has had a really good running back since Corey Dillon. I like LeGarrette Blount. LeGarrette Blount was a guy for y'all, right?
Yeah. He was in that Super Bowl versus the Eagles.
Yeah, LeGarrette Blount was good for y'all. James White, I mean, he's never fumbled. That's good.
Hey,
Sony
don't throw
Michel.
shade on James White, man. James White's been solid forever, man.
I mean, I know, and I wasn't. I like James White, but he's not Fournette.
No, you're right.
There hasn't, and the thing with Corey Dillon with the Patriots was great. If you're talking about an all-time Patriots team, Corey Dillon is probably up there on the running back roster, no doubt. Fournette in Tampa. Last episode, I said it was bonkers. That 12-4 for Tampa. It's bonkers. I still feel like 12-4 is really hard.
Yeah, you get a chance to change your predictions right now, Brett. I'll give you a chance.
I don't think they'll top the Saints. I do not still think they'll top the Saints. The Saints are still a really good roster, all right? The only reason I have doubt is that this could be Antonio Brown all over again for the Patriots. I mean, really. When the Patriots got Antonio Brown, everyone was like, dude, Pats are winning the Super Bowl. I was like it. I said Pats are winning the Super Bowl. They got one of the best wide receivers of this decade. Not just in the league, of this decade. And Brown is, if he was in the league right now, he probably would have made my top 10 list. Because Antonio Brown is that damn good. But problematic, didn't work out. He was released within a week. I don't think Fournette's going to be that problematic, but you never trust a player just by that one big signing, because then that person could not do good with this guy. This guy could be mad at the coaches or whatever. You never know. That's why I'm not sure with the Saints. Saints have been good for a bit. They and I completely forgot they got Malcolm Jenkins over there now. I forgot to touch on that last time, but they got Malcolm Jenkins back with them. It's a well-oiled machine over there. They're very familiar with each other. That's why I feel like the Saints are the safer team if you want to go for the best team in the NFC. But when it comes to the playoffs, I feel like Tampa's probably going to end up going to the NFC Championship. If I'm being quite honest, if Fournette can work out for them the way they can, and if their heavy offense can outshine their weak secondary, I think they can do it. I would love to see something like that happen to the Cowboys, because they're pretty much in the same situation. Great offense, good linebackers, good D-line, but shit secondary. But, we've never had the coaching. Bruce Arians is still a really good coach. He's a great coach. And the fact that he's been able to pull all that talent into Tampa and especially develop Chris Godwin into the receiver that he is now, it's great. All right, so like I said at the beginning of the podcast, we're going to get into DTs, QBs in the AFC. We're going to start off with DTs. Joey, your bottom 5, not bottom 10. Bottom 5, who you got?
10, I got Akeem Hicks from the Bears. He's not hurt or anything like that, right?
I'm not sure.
Hey, I really don't know.
He's kind of been on the downfall for me, but.
Yeah, but he's still a solid option. I mean, there's not much to choose from at D tackles once you get lower in the list, so I was just like, all right. I don't know too much about D tackles myself, but right ahead of him, I got DJ Reader. I mean, that Bengals line is pretty good, dude. They got some I
don't know
weapons.
about their edge rushers. I don't think they have any like really dominant. Don't they have what's that other guy? Do they still have Carlos Dunlap? I think they do.
I know.
I think they still have Dunlap.
I don't know, but do they have Vontaze Burfict still or no?
No, I don't think so. I think Vontaze Burfict went to fucking Raiders last year.
Really?
But yeah, I do kind of like that Bengals D line.
All right ahead of him, I got Grady Jarrett from the Falcons. He was really good last year. He surprised a lot of people.
He's on the uprise, man.
Oh yeah. The other Bengals lineman, I got Atkins. Could put him a little higher. I mean, he's really been solid the past few years.
Yeah,
but,
no doubt.
I got him at 7, and at 6 I got Cameron Hayward from the Steelers.
That is really low for Cam Hayward, man.
You think so?
I was
debating it.
All right.
I might have to
Let me
change that. I
let me
might change that, and I'm putting
get through your list, and
okay.
maybe it'll be reasonable. You
Yeah.
don't change your list before you even get to the top 5. But here's my bottom 5. At 10, I got Matt Ioannidis, I believe that's how you say his name, from the Washington football team. Now, I should say. Yeah, they seemingly got a pretty underrated D-line over there. Chase Young looks like, I mean, they've been overhyping Chase Young. I mean, he's pancaking guys when really he's just been pancaking like third string tight ends in most of the videos that I've seen. But Ioannidis had a pretty good season last year, and I expect him to be on the uprise. A guy I'm surprised you did not have in your bottom 5. Vita Vea. He's young, and I like Vita Vea a lot. He's a big guy. He's strong. Hell, he ran halfback last year for the Bucs during the play. But yeah, I really like Vita. I wouldn't be surprised if he emerges as one of the more dominant D tackles in the league. But he's still really young. He's still got a lot of time to develop. At 8, I have Geno Atkins. Atkins has been a really good D tackle for a long while now. I don't feel like he'll be all that great with DJ Reader in there. I don't have DJ Reader in my top 10. Because I just feel like all these other guys will probably be a little bit better. But yeah, I have Geno at 8. At 7, I have Grady Jarrett. I really like Grady Jarrett. I feel like he'll probably end up creeping up to the top 5 as some of these older guys start to deteriorate a little bit. But yeah, Falcons, they got themselves a really good D tackle over there. Jarrett and Deion Jones are really the only guys that I know over there. It's kind of sad, but I mean, it really is. It's kind of weird, to be honest.
You got True Font too, right? Is he still on that team?
True Font went to Detroit.
Oh,
he
wow.
was Darius Slay's replacement. Which, I mean, Detroit over there, they got Okuda, they got True Font. I mean, they can have something there. It's not bad. And then at 6, I have Green Bay's Kenny Clark. He's a big dude. He's a big dude. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say, like you said, about D tackles. It's really just either you dominate with your weight or you dominate with your speed. And I feel like Kenny Clark is the definition of that, because he's definitely the fattest guy on this list, in my opinion, no doubt.
All right, you want me to get into my bottom 5?
Top 5, yeah.
Yeah, top 5. At 5, I have DeForest Buckner.
Damn.
On a new team, you know what I mean? What, do you have him a little bit higher? Are my guys being underrated?
No, I mean, say your list.
Yeah, I got you. Well, new team, you know what I mean? He's not going to have that guy beside him that he did last year, so he's going to receive some more attention from the O-line.
It was Armstead, right? It's Armstead at left. I think Armstead is an end.
Armstead he's a offensive lineman.
Eric Armstead is not.
I thought you were talking about Teron Armstead. Yeah, Eric Armstead was the other D tackle that I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not gonna have as much hope this year on the line, but
D Ford is the other rusher. I was thinking Eric Armstead was the end that they had, but no, it's D Ford and Nick Bosa. Completely forgot about him.
All right, just above Buckner, I got Kenny Clark. You know, very big guy, great at stopping the runs up the middle.
Yeah.
He can still rush the passer too. I mean, he's just not going to get there as quick as some of the other guys.
He's really just more of a run stopper, and I feel like some of the best D tackles in the league are really good at just being run stoppers.
All right, well, I got Chris Jones at 3, Fletcher Cox at 2, and then I got Aaron Donald at 1.
Of course, Aaron Donald's one of the best players in the league. Top 5. I got number 5. I got Fletcher Cox. He's been one of the best D tackles in the league for a while now. I mean, every season he plays good. The Ezekiel Elliott effect for him last year. He didn't have the usual numbers that he has, but he still put up great numbers. He's a top 5 D tackle in my eyes. Chris Jones, I have at number 4. Still, same thing with him. He's been one of the best D tackles in the league for a little bit now. There's nothing more he can do. He's won a ring. I mean, the only thing other he can do is win Defensive Player of the Year, and there's not many D tackles that have done that.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
At 3, I'm really riding high on DeForest Buckner. I feel like he's going to shine with that Colts defense. He really is the anchor for that line. I can't think I don't think they have any like other really big guys over there. But yeah, I really like DeForest Buckner. At 2, I have Cam Hayward. You're seriously sleeping on Cam Hayward. I feel like he's a great one. Once again, when it comes to that secondary over at Pittsburgh, they no doubtably have one of, if not the best. Now, actually, take that back. Pats definitely have the best. But he really holds together that all-around defense. Him and T.J. Watt. That is a dangerous duo coming at you. And then, of course, number 1, Aaron Donald. One of the greatest D tackles. I feel like is going to be definitely one of the greatest D tackles of all time. He's got power. He's got speed. He can stop the run, and he can sack your quarterback. He can do it whenever he wants. It's crazy. Yeah, D tackle's not really all that much of a star-studded list, unlike the QBs. I'm going to start with my bottom 5. Kind of excited to see how you play some of these players. At 10, Big Ben, Roethlisberger. I feel like he's going to come back.
Okay.
I wanted to put Stafford up there because I do like Matt Stafford a lot. I really considered putting him over. I don't trust him. I don't trust Stafford just because of his injuries. Stafford hasn't really been all that consistent in the fact that he's still on Detroit. I like Big Ben's weapons a little bit, not really just because of his receivers, because I do feel like Detroit has better receivers. I feel like Big Ben has James Conner, and he's not Le'Veon Bell, but he's close to what Le'Veon Bell could do. So I feel like for that reason, Big Ben's just going to be a little bit more of a more spread out. And he's also got Eric Ebron at the tight end. I don't really know who the Detroit tight end is. I think it's still that rookie TJ Hawkinson. At 9, you might find this surprising, maybe not. I got Aaron Rodgers. He's going down. I don't have him as high as some of these other guys. I don't feel like he'll have better seasons than all of these other guys. Same thing there. There's a lot of really good QBs, but I feel like all these other QBs will have better seasons, will end up being better. And right now I'm not saying like they've had better moments, because like when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, when it comes to clutch, Aaron Rodgers is one of, if not the best QB in the league. When it comes to that last throw, I trust Aaron Rodgers. But when it comes to staying there for the whole game, Aaron Rodgers isn't what he used to be. He's still good, but the fact that he's at this level, at this age, and people are still saying he's not what he used to be, proved how good. He was top 3 QB for a little while, but Aaron Rodgers has dropped down. At 8, I find it's a little bit too high for him. Maybe not. Hopefully not. I got Kyler Murray. You gave him what? Hear me out. All right? Hear me out. What does Kyler Murray not have? What does Kyler Murray not have?
You're right. Hey, I can't really laugh at that. He couldn't break out this year, but
and that's the thing. If it was without D-Hop, he would probably be about 10. But he's versatile in the fact of Russell Wilson. He's got D-Hop, still one of the best wide receivers in the league. He's got Christian Kirk, and he's got Larry Fitz. That's one of the best wide receiver trios in the league. He's got good weapons, and Kenyon Drake and a good running back. If he can get healthy, Kenyon Drake, he's got a lot of good weapons around him to the point where he might end up creeping into the top 5. I don't see it happening anytime soon. At number 7, I hate to put him this low, but he's my boy. He's lost my trust. I got number 7, Dak Prescott.
Wow. That's surprising.
Number 7, Dak Prescott. He's lost my trust. I like Prescott. I still feel like he's one of the better QBs in the league, but he will not have better.
Has he signed yet?
I mean, he has a franchise tag on him.
Okay.
Which is for like $31.5 million, so he's getting paid this season, but we ain't signed him to an extension. But Prescott, man, you went 8-8. How am I supposed to trust you? You had one of the best you had the best offense in the league. How am I supposed to trust you? Now this year, if you don't prove to me that you are a top 5 QB this year, sorry, man, you're not going to be on the team anymore. Because you got Lamb, Gallup, Cooper, Zeke. Pollard is even a good. If Zeke is injured, Pollard's a good guy to put in. Blake Jarwin, I like Blake Jarwin this year. You got a lot of talent on that offense, man. And you've only had one really good season, and that was your rookie season. And you had a good season when Amari first got there. But Dak, you lost my trust, man. I gotta put you 7. I can't trust you more than these other guys. I feel like if any of these other guys on this list had the weapons that Dallas has, or has had at least for the past couple of years, Dallas would be Super Bowl champions right now. That's just me. At 6, I really hate it putting him over Dak. But especially with Fournette now, got to put Tom Brady at 6. He's older now. His mobility isn't there. It's never been there. That's the only reason I don't have him quite there. When it comes to tight ends, I still feel like Gronk is iffy to me, but he's still got one of the best offenses in the league. You can't really say much about Tom Brady. He's the greatest player of all time. He really is. He's the greatest player of all time, and you gave him the best running back since Corey Dillon, like I said earlier. But yeah, those are my bottom 5.
All right. Well, I'll get into mine. I didn't really agree with you putting Big Ben and Kyler Murray in the top 10, so I'm just going to say that right now. I have Carson Wentz at 10, who I
Hey, yo,
had a feeling,
what?
I had a feeling you weren't going to put him in there because of Eagles hate.
Hold on. So you're going to say that Big Ben and Kyler Murray are underneath a guy who can't even play? No. Carson Wentz has fell off.
How come you were so high on the Eagles last episode? You're so high on their offense.
I'm high on the Eagles because they still have one of the best defenses in the league, and they have Miles Sanders. But just because I'm high on the Eagles team, I'm high on a lot of these other teams. All right.
Brett, Carson Wentz is better than Kyler Murray, and he's better than Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger 2 or 3 years ago is better than Wentz. But Wentz right now, man, Roethlisberger coming off injury. He's gotta adjust to things again. Roethlisberger's not doing this. He has Juju and who else?
That's a good point. But here's the thing: Miles Sanders is taking the lead on that offense. If I was an Eagles fan, of course, if I was an Eagles fan, I'd be riding high on Carson Wentz because I'd be more delusional than a Cowboys fan. But I don't feel like he'll have a better season. I feel like Miles Sanders, he's going to be Ryan Tannehill. I see Ryan Tannehill coming up. I feel like Ryan Sanders is going to run that offense. I like him.
Okay.
That's just me.
Okay.
That's just me. But and I will say this: I respect you putting him up there. I don't think he'll be like that. I respect you putting him up there. It's a really tight race when it comes to that 10 spot. I don't feel like Carson Wentz is top 10. I don't.
All right, man.
I don't feel like he will.
At 9, I got Matt Ryan, my fantasy lockdown QB. I'm trusting him this year. He's always good, he puts up numbers.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this QB list was hard for me to make because there's a lot of good QBs. There's a lot of good QBs who can have off years and then out of nowhere can have amazing years, but just won't do anything in the playoffs. It just comes down to who I think is going to shine, especially with the weapons that they got. That's just me.
I was super surprised you didn't have Wentz or Ryan in your top 10, but those are my 10 and 9 guys. And now we get to the meat and potatoes here, the arguable picks that could interchange. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
At 8, I have Aaron Rodgers. He's got Adams. He's got Lazard, who's coming up. You know what I mean? He's got Aaron Jones, great pass catching back.
I like Valdez. I like Valdez Scantling more than I like Lazard, to be honest. That's just me.
Yeah, you could say what you want, but Rodgers he's gonna be good this year. He's still Rodgers. He's got a great team. I don't like the Packers too much this year, but it's still Rodgers. He's got a good offense. He's got a good coach who he's probably having some issues with this year since they got another quarterback, but still trust Rodgers. Right above him, I got Deshaun Watson. It could be a little low for Watson. I know you have him higher. I don't want to see that. I know you have him higher. I mean, his number 1 is Brandon Cooks, who is injury prone. Kyle, what's his name? Fuller? Not Kyle Fuller.
No, what are you talking about? Will Fuller.
Fuller. Will Fuller, injury prone also, and he's got Stills.
Kenny Stills.
Also injury prone. I mean, I don't trust his receivers. His running back is a toss up. You know what I mean? I'm high on David Johnson. I told you that, but he's not gonna carry the whole team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback. I just don't think he'll have the numbers as some of these guys. And at number 6, I have Drew Brees. That's my bottom 5.
Okay. It's really interesting. All right, let's get into my top 5. At number 5, I have Deshaun Watson. He is. For a while, I was willing to put up with the debate that Dak could be better than Deshaun, but I feel like at this point, Deshaun is miles ahead of Dak. I hate to say it, I really do. I feel like Deshaun is miles ahead of Dak. Same thing with Brady. If Deshaun Watson was on the Cowboys, he'd have him a ring. He'd at least have him 1 ring. I mean, that's facts. I mean, you could blame it on Jason Garrett, but Prescott, you're the QB. You got to take some blame. I mean, you're the head of the team, and it's time that Cowboys fans start realizing that. At number 4, I got Drew Brees. One of the best. He's had one of the best offenses for a while now. He's always had weapons around him, it seems like, and he's one of the greatest QBs of all time. There's not really much to explain there. At number 3, I got Lamar Jackson.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm not gonna say no.
At number 3, I got Lamar Jackson. The only reason I'm having that high is because of their schedule, and I'll get into that later. But yeah, you can't hate on the man too much. He just had an insane year. You can't deny that. He's got an MVP. Once again, comes the playoffs, who knows? He's still got to prove himself. But I feel like he's not going to have a repeat of last year, no doubt. But Lamar's still a really good QB. He's going to perform better. At 2, Russell Wilson. I feel like the top 2 for me are pretty locked in. Russell Wilson, he's been one of the great. He needs to get him an MVP. If he gets him an MVP, he might be he'll solidify himself at number 2. But number 2, I got Russell Wilson. There's not much to say there as well. And of course, number 1, future greatest player of all time, Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
okay, don't say that.
I'm kidding. No one can do it. It's gonna take a lot of talent for someone to do what Brady has done. But
hey, if you think about it, Mahomes could. They're starting up a dynasty, like the Patriots.
They really are. They really are. It's crazy what they got going over there. But yeah, that's my top 5. I'm curious to see what you have.
All right, at 5, I have Brady. You could put Breeze at 5 and Brady at 6. I mean, those two are so similar. They could have like exactly the same numbers, but I like Brady's offense better than Breeze's offense. Of course, Breeze has the offensive line. Brady's going to be getting sacked a few more times, but I like Brady. I mean, if he was putting up the numbers he was last year with Julian Edelman as a number 1 receiver, he's got 2 top 6 or 7 receivers now.
And I would say 2 top 10, yeah.
And a top 10 tight end. Could be top 5 by the end of the year. But
and potentially top Fournette. 10 running back.
Yeah, I forgot about Fournette, but I mean that just ups my standards for Brady this year. I mean Fournette can catch out of the backfield too, so that'll give him some more numbers.
Yeah, that does give him upside.
I got Dak Prescott at 4. I'm very surprised in you, Brett. Like Cowboys fan,
I don't trust him. I don't trust Dak. I don't trust Dak anymore. I don't trust Dak. And that's the only reason. It's the only reason I went with all of these guys is you think he's gonna have a great season, but when it comes to QBs, none of these guys would have gone 8-8. None of these guys would have gone 8-8 with the weapons that Dak has.
But I'm not basing it on their teams right now. Of course,
I understand that. But you have the number 1 offense in the league, and you can't clutch up games. You have games where you have Kyle Rudolph dominating you on offense, and you can't answer back. Dak had a good season last year. I just don't trust him. I just don't trust him as much. He's lost my trust.
Well, yeah. So yeah, of course, like if you put one of these other guys on those Cowboys, they're gonna do better than Dak. But I'm just basing this off the numbers I think they're gonna have this year with their team. That's why I had Watson. That's why I had Watson low.
Yeah, I can see that.
Above Prescott, I have Russell Wilson at 3. I'm very surprised you had him at 2. I mean, I just don't think he's better than Lamar Jackson, man.
I think he is. No. Lamar's one season puts him up a lot because he exceeded like every expectation in the book. He exceeded except for his rushing yards because everyone there's predictions. The only thing he's going to be good at is rushing, but I don't feel like Lamar has gotten to that point and has had the playoff success.
He had the most passing touchdowns in the league, I think.
I know that's what I'm saying. He exceeded all expectations of all that, but I don't feel like, especially with the playoff success and just the overall how he is, I don't feel like he's done enough to be better than Russell Wilson. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Well, I got at number 1 Cam Newton. I'm just kidding. I got Mahomes. Yeah. I mean, that's obvious. I think he's going to do great. He's going to play a full season, hopefully, this year. He doesn't have that Madden curse lingering over him like Lamar does. Let's see if Lamar can overcome the curse.
that is one thing.
And I told you earlier, I thought Lamar may get injured this year. I mean, it's the same thing as Michael Vick, all those scrambling quarterbacks. They end up getting popped 1 or 2 good times and put him down probably. But I'm not saying that Lamar's he's proven that he's pretty durable. I mean, he took some hits last year, And I
Yeah,
mean,
no
he's a good
doubt.
runner. I got him at 2, and I got Mahomes at 1. I may have already said that, but
Yeah.
obviously Mahomes at 1.
Yeah. But really, I feel like right here we're getting into once again the meat into the pie. This is when the most arguments come up, the most because last podcast, I mean, NFC was it was still a hard list to make, but this AFC list was really hard to make. There's a lot of good wild card teams when it comes to it. So how about you go first? You're 7, 6, and 5.
At 7, I have the Broncos going 8-8. They have an electric offense, dude, but I don't see him doing too much. You can't really go too high on the Broncos. You can't, because they
Yeah.
haven't showed us much lately. Above them at 6, I got the Steelers going 9-7. Great defense, probably maybe the best top 2, if not the best defense in the year in the league this year. They're gonna shine this year. Got Big Ben back. They don't have to worry about playing bad quarterbacks. Let's see what they can do this year.
No doubt.
Above them at 5, I have the Bills going 9-7. They could take the
Hey
division,
hey
but
yo,
they
nah man, nah,
no.
All right. No, there's no. All right, go ahead.
What are you saying?
Go ahead.
What are you saying? What are you
Go
saying?
ahead. Go ahead.
You don't think the Patriots are gonna win the division?
Go ahead.
Okay, I have the Bills going 9-7. They could win the division, but they haven't proved themselves at all yet. So, I mean, they added Diggs. We'll see what Allen can
I
do.
mean, okay. All right. Let me get the top 4 is gonna be interesting. All right. So let me get into my bottom 3, I should say. All right. At 7, I have the Pats. I have the Pats going 9-7.
I'm fine with that.
Pats, their secondary is going to carry them this year. Cam's great, but I mean, he's a former MVP. He's still a good quarterback, but just don't feel like they're as good as the Bills, no doubt. At 6,
Okay.
I have the Broncos going 9-7 as well. I really like the Broncos team. They're really well rounded. Especially at wide receiver. I'm really liking what they got going there with Judy and Sutton. Running back, they got a 2-headed monster. I feel like that's going to be really productive for them. And if somebody gets injured, they have a really good backup or whatever. But yeah, really like the Broncos. I feel like a lot of people some people are really high on the Broncos. Like they got them taking their division, which I do not see happening. But yeah, Broncos, pretty good team this year, no doubt. And at 5, I have the Steelers going 10-6. Defense, one of the best defenses in the league, and the fact that they were able to pull together last year, I believe they went 9-7 last year. They were able to pull that together with Big Ben back. I feel like they'll be able to pull 10-6. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 11-5. I'm gonna go straight into my top 4. At number 4, I have the Colts going 10-6. Colts are. I feel like Colts are winning the division.
You have the Colts doing better than the Patriots. That's just sad. That's sad. That's Patriots hate, and at its finest.
That's not Pat's fate. That's not Pat's hate. You want to know why I have the Pats going 9-7? Because you cannot have the wide receiver core that you have, or the lack of a D-line that you have, and have the hardest schedule in the league. Your secondary is going to carry you. But when you look at your schedule and some of the opponents, they just flat out beat you on paper. That's the only reason I say that. But yeah, Colts 10-6. DeForest Buckner really boosted up their defense. They got Phillip Rivers now. Hopefully, Phillip Rivers won't be as problematic and as turnover heavy. But if he can at least give T.Y. Hilton the ball a lot and hopefully kind of project T.Y. Hilton back up. And if T.Y. Hilton can stay safe, I feel like they got a good offense, especially with Jonathan Taylor over there. He could blow up for them. Marlon Mack, he isn't the greatest running back, but he has good games. Colts aren't a bad team, no doubt this year. At 3, I got the Bills going 11-5.
Get the fuck out of here.
I like the Bills, man. Bills have one of the best. Bills have one of the best defenses in the league. It can be argued that they have the best defense in the league. They have a great defense, a great secondary, good linebackers. Don't sleep on their safeties. Micah Hyde is a great guy.
No one's sleeping on Micah Hyde. No one's sleeping on him.
I've seen people sleep on him. I'm just saying, just don't. But yeah, I really like the Bills this year. I feel like they're gonna take over that division, no doubt. And with Diggs there, they got a really good offense. If Josh Allen can control his arm, because he can throw the ball, but he can't throw it as accurately. If they can control that, Those are going to be deadly. At 2, I have the Chiefs going 13-3. The only reason I don't have them above the Ravens, who I think are going 14-2, is that there is no way. It is criminal. It is absolutely criminal that a Ravens team can go 14-2 last year with their schedule and then literally be gifted the easiest schedule in the league. You have the MVP, one of the best offenses in the league because of that MVP, and you have one of the best defenses in that league, and yet you play scrubs. You play nothing but scrubs. Your division is going to be hard. Yeah, there's going to be some guys, but they're not better than the Ravens. That's the only reason I have the Ravens above the Chiefs is because the Ravens have a substantially better record than the Chiefs. And for me, that matters. That got proved to me last year. Like I said in the last podcast, it got proved to me last year when the Cowboys went 8-8. It got proved to me last year when the Pats went 12-4 and they went to the playoffs, faced some real talent, and fell apart. So yeah, that is my AFC predictions. Who do you got in your top 4?
I got the Colts also at 4, winning that division. It's gonna be that was the toughest one for me to pick.
Yeah,
because the Titans. I mean,
all they got is Derrick Henry, and
yeah.
I don't trust Ryan Tannehill. I mean, Tannehill had a great end of the season, but
yeah.
I mean, he pretty much lined up his career identical with Derrick Henry. Tannehill had a great end of the season. Derrick Henry had a phenomenal great end of the season, but they both didn't start off great.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens in that division this year. I mean, the Colts, they added a few good players. They should do all right. I got them going 8-8. If I didn't say that already, I mean that's kind of
how
low.
In the world? I don't understand that how they could go 8-8. I don't.
But Brett, you got to think about it. Are the Colts gonna win? Are the Colts gonna win? You had them winning 10 or 9?
10. Yeah, I'd win them 10.
You think the Colts are gonna win 10 games?
Yeah, I have the Colts winning 10 games.
I don't see that.
Just see.
What did they do? They didn't do nothing last year, man.
Yeah, because they didn't have a reliable QB because Andrew Luck ditched out on them, and they didn't have anything for a receiver record.
It was a bad situation.
It was a bad situation for the Colts, and they still managed to pull together a meh. But they're in a good place right now.
They're not winning 10 games. I'll say that right now. They could win 9, but they're not winning 10 games. Someone who is winning 10 games and winning their division this year, the New England Patriots, the greatest franchise of all time.
If y'all I'll say this right now. I believe, do y'all play the Ravens this year again?
Probably. They're in the AFC.
I think y'all play the Ravens, or maybe it's the Chiefs. It's either the Ravens or the Chiefs. I think y'all play this year.
We play both every year. I think so.
No, I don't think every year. Either way, if y'all can beat one of those two teams, cool. I'll give y'all the division.
We're beating the Bills both times that we play them, Brett.
No, you're not.
I'm just saying that right now.
No, you're not.
The Bills both times that we play them.
If Cam Newton, I'm just saying this. If Cam Newton gets injured, your prediction is in the shitter. Just saying that.
Well, that's just a Debbie Downer way to look at the Cam Newton. I mean, I just can't believe you're saying that right now. That absolutely disgusts me. They're going 10-6. I don't want to hear any other words about it. See, we played the Jets.
Because it's retarded.
We're taking both of those games. We're taking Dolphins may beat us once, but we're taking both of those games. That's 4 wins right there. We're taking both of the Bills games. We're sweeping our division, and then we're gonna win 2 more or 4 more after that. I mean, it's just the Patriots. You can't count the Patriots out. We're staying on top of that division probably for a few more years to come. The Bills are definitely gonna take over at some point. I'm gonna say that, but it's going to be tough.
They're taking over this year. It's
going to be tough for me to let go of our winningness, but we're going to have to at some point. We're going to have to go to a rebuilding stage at some point in the future.
I think the whole thing, especially when Trevor Lawrence was being brought up as being a Patriot, it is ludicrous with the fact that Patriots fans would even consider rebuilding when you still have that secondary. I mean, that secondary is so damn talented. So there's some guys who are overrated. They're going to play great. They're always going to play great. I mean, you can't rebuild with that secondary unless you trade away and you just completely blow up your team like you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's no way you can rebuild. That's just me.
Okay, you can say that, but
I mean, you're going to have to. All teams do at one point.
Yeah.
All teams do rebuild, but not anytime soon.
Patriots ain't going down anytime soon, though. I'm actually agreeing with you. I have the Chiefs at 2, going 13-3, and the Ravens going 14-2. Again, you said with the Ravens schedule, I mean, They won 14-2 last year. They could
Yeah.
even go. They could win 15 or 16 this year. Let's be honest.
Okay.
I mean,
okay. 16 is I feel like is crazy for any team. They got
Yeah.
They got to shock me.
Only the Patriots can do that. I mean, they've done it before, and I'm not saying that they're gonna do it again. I'm saying they've done it before.
All right, so I'm just gonna edit that out. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the top two are pretty much locked in. But it's gonna be really interesting to see how the Pats and the Bills play out. I feel like the Bills are gonna be a significantly better team.
I thought you were gonna put the Chiefs one. I was surprised that you.
No, I did not.
Ravens.
Ravens. I mean, they lost Earl Thomas, but I mean, the fact that they're still going to go 14-2 without Earl Thomas tells you how stacked that team is. But yeah, guys, seems like this is going to be the last week without football. Catch us next week. We'll be talking about hopefully some of the bigger games that are coming up. Maybe predicting NBA series. Some of them might get swept. Could the C's pull off the? Could the Celtics pull off the sweep?
I could check the score right here, right now. Let's see what's going on with that. That game is actually being played live while we're recording, guys.
Yeah.
So let's check that out.
I really want the Raptors to be up.
Wait, what's going on? Oh wow, it's tied 95. With 4 minutes left. It's tied at 95. I'm going to watch that game
Raptors.
As soon as we get off of this.
Peace out, guys. Peace out, guys. Thank you for watching. See you next week.